The current Switch's lifespan has been a phenomenal success, bringing hybrid gaming to the masses and providing countless hours of entertainment for gamers of all ages. But as technology continues to advance and trends begin to shift, it's only natural to want more for the next flagship console from Nintendo. And with all these rumors swirling around about the Switch 2, with some potential games to expect from its launch lineup, I thought now would be the perfect time to share my thoughts on what I'd love to see from the next gen Switch. What's up guys, Tactics here with another video for you. Let's not waste any more time with this and dive right in, starting off with my first thing I would like to see for the Switch 2. As great as the Switch's lifespan has been, it's not without some limitations. In fact, I would say that the Nintendo Switch has taken quite a few steps back compared to some of its predecessors such as the Wii and even the Wii U. With the pace of technology moving so quickly, it's only logical to assume that Nintendo will of course release a newer, more powerful model. Having better graphics and more storage for your ever-increasing library of games is a given. So because of this, I would really like a more improved homepage or UI of the Switch 2. And there are so many sub-points that I could go over about this alone, such as the lack of unique or many unique themes aside from the standard black and white theme. By the end of the Switch's lifespan, I was expecting there to be a whole laundry list of themes for people to choose from. Then there is some kind of music or maybe some sort of chime added to the home page instead of it just being this sort of dead silent screen. Like, where's the personality that Nintendo used to have? I can't deny that with the transition from the Wii to the Wii U and then to the Switch, there has been a steady decrease in that unique Nintendo charm that so many of us remember back in the day. You know, like back in my day. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. But anyways, having a more user-friendly system that allows people to see all their games would be a nice change. Maybe something along the lines of the Wii again. Another small sub-point would be how people add friends to their friend lists. The way they have it set up right now is very tedious. The way you have to add people with this weird friend code thing is just very annoying, and I can see how it's very frustrating for people who have a large audience like content creators who want to involve their audience in a particular type of game like, well, let's just say something like Splatoon. Having to add these people into your list and then having to delete others to make room for the next group of people that you want to play with can get very annoying. I think it's time for Nintendo to adopt a more modern file system. The current system is very clunky and outdated, and it would be great to see something, well, more user-friendly. Speaking of clunky though, the next feature I would like to see improved on is the eShop. Now I've talked about this before, but it needs to be repeated mainly because of how bad the eShop really is. It's super slow to load in new games when you're scrolling through an endless list of slop. Are there some gems hidden amongst the muck of games? Yes, of course, but it's not easy to find when you have to spend minutes scrolling through the menu. We'll come back to this in a moment though, but for now, let's talk about some other things they need to improve on first. I think they need to improve on the search bar as well. Yeah, sure, you can search up a game that you might be interested in and that you might already know about, but I think it could be better. Plus, I think you should have the option to filter certain genres of games out from your search. I just think the eShop is very anti-consumer because between the slow, clunky loading time to the large amounts of AI-generated slop games is downright criminal. And that leads me into my next point. We need less hentai games. Like, I'm not kidding when I say you can't even scroll through the recent release game tab without coming across the next Hentai Girls Flight Attendant Edition. Like, what about parents who have kids that want to give their child a Switch? I understand there are parental controls to address this issue, but I still think that something needs to be done about it with these weird AI-generated games. Just having to deal with all these issues alone really makes me not even want to scroll through the eShop to look for lesser known games that could be potentially good. And like I said, I know there are some options to filter this stuff out, but it's not optimized enough to make it more user-friendly. Personally, this is the biggest feature that I want Nintendo to really improve on, since there are people out there who mostly prefer to buy digital copies of games rather than physical copies. Now, I know I've been crapping all over the eShop situation, but there are some things that I think Nintendo did very well with the eShop, such as the reward system. Now, I think Nintendo just recently announced a few days ago that they will be shutting down the ability to receive Nintendo Gold and Platinum points on March 25th. And basically what this means is, every time you buy a game on the eShop, you receive gold points, and you can save up enough of these points to give yourself discounts, or even in some cases, straight up buy another game pretty much for free, which was a fantastic way to give some special benefits to people who buy video games digital only. But very soon, this will all be gone. What's up guys, Tactics here from the future. Just wanted to let you guys know that yes, this feature of getting rewards is without a doubt gone. We no longer have the ability to receive reward coins or platinum coins from purchasing digital copy games. So yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, anyways, there is a good chance that Nintendo will continue this with the Switch 2, or at least I hope they do. Who knows though, they might even come up with some other reward system with the Switch 2, but we'll just have to wait and see. Another online service that Nintendo needs to improve on is the Nintendo Switch Online service. I'm almost certain that the price will increase for it again with the Switch 2, especially if they add the GameCube to it. Honestly, the GameCube games is the feature I've been waiting for the most. It's great that we've got the N64 and the Game Boy Advance and a few others on there now, but it could be so much better. I love to see a more comprehensive online service that actually rivals or somewhat rivals Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network. Like, give us more cloud saves, online multiplayer, and a robust community platform. There are just so many ways that Nintendo could go about the online feature. It just felt like an afterthought to them for the Switch 1 since they just sort of pasted it onto the home page. I don't know. It looks so out of place compared to everything else, so hopefully they will make everything look more cohesive with the Switch 2's UI. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about the Switch Online feature except, well, someone let me know when they add Kirby Air Ride to the lists with a better city trial mode to it. Now the next feature is an interesting one. It would be amazing if Nintendo could find a way to make the Switch 2 even more portable. Maybe some kind of new battery technology that gives us even more hours of gameplay on the go. But I think there is something better than just battery life. Does anyone remember Street Pass with the 3DS? Basically, you could put the 3DS in your pocket on sleep mode, and then you can be traveling around and walking past another random person on the street with their 3DS, and both would connect with one another. So when you open it back up, it would show all the people you passed on your 3DS and what kind of games they were playing. Wouldn't it be cool if they brought this feature back for the Switch 2? I mean, the Switch's whole marketing brand is based around it being portable, so why not add more features to it that would benefit that portability? Not to mention that more people are buying Switches more than pretty much any other console that Nintendo has ever made. So it makes sense to add more features that encompasses the idea of taking your Switch with you on the go. I actually can't believe this was not a feature on the Switch already, considering how well it works with the system. This is another one of those moments where it feels like Nintendo sort of took a bit of a step back with some of their features, but maybe they didn't know how well or crazy good that the Switch would sell, so they chose to leave a lot of the stuff out of the console. However, now that they know how successful the Switch brand has been, this could very well make a return for the Switch 2. And you guys should hit that like button if you're enjoying the video so far, and subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay up to date on when I upload, since I'll be uploading a new video each and every day leading up to the Switch 2 presentation that'll be on the 2nd of April. Thanks again guys. Alright, now back to the video. Now while we're on the subject of online functionality, I think it's time for Nintendo to open up the Switch to more third-party apps and services. Imagine being able to stream Netflix or something else besides YouTube directly on your Switch. Another feature could be something similar to Miiverse. The Wii had a very robust online community service where you could take pictures and post them on the app. People could comment back, send friend requests, and engage with a community that just really enjoyed talking about their favorite games. I think Nintendo really should bring this feature back with maybe even a mobile connection to it as well. There are already apps dedicated to certain games like Splatoon, but like before, it could be so much better. The idea of the Nintendo Switch 2 should not just be about portability, but maybe something more to add on to that, such as a sense of community. Being able to bring people together that enjoy video games, whether if that's in person or through digital or online means, is what the Switch 2 brand should incorporate into its marketing plan, other than just the portability aspect, since the Switch 1 has already established that. Another feature they need to add is online voice chat. When you're playing a game that focuses more around multiplayer functionality, having the ability to communicate with other players in a more convenient way would only add more value to that particular game. Take for example, and once again I'm going to use Splatoon here as an example, and I know I keep using it as an example here, but it is one of Nintendo's newest and also biggest IPs that has a huge emphasis on online multiplayer. Being able to chat with your teammates and coordinate strategies would just make Splatoon an even bigger and better multiplayer experience that can bring players together as a community. Other games that could probably benefit from voice chat are games such as Smash Bros, then there's ARMS, and maybe even Mario Party. And if Nintendo is afraid to add these features because of something like, well, online bullying or something like that, I mean, there is such thing as a mute button there for a reason to turn off toxic behavior. Moving away from the online talk though, another issue that I won't resolve is the Joy-Con drift. Now if you're one of those lucky ones that never had the displeasure of experiencing what Joy-Con drift is, then well, count your blessings. I played a lot of Splatoon 2 back in the day on the Switch, and I was one of those disgusting stick players that never used motion control, so you can imagine that I damn near ruined my Joy-Cons as a result of playing the game. My point is, I don't want this to happen with the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, and I know that the analog sticks are made out of better material this time around, but regardless, I just don't want a repeat of this. I don't want to have to go buy a Pro controller for the sake of having a better controller, but to buy one simply because I want to get a secondary controller. I just don't want to feel like I have to go buy a Pro controller just because the original controller that came with the system kinda sucks. Next thing on my list is a strong lineup of games for the Switch 2. Now I already talked about this in another video about what games I want to see for the launch lineup, so if you haven't seen that video yet, well, here's my shameless plug for that. But yeah, let me see maybe like a Mario game, hell maybe even Zelda, just to show off the hardware capabilities. And lastly, a little more continuity from Nintendo would be nice. Now what do I mean by this? Well, I think they were pretty decent about keeping us up to date on what new games were coming to the Switch once the Switch had launched, and I want to see more of that with the Switch 2. And even though I doubt they'll do this, I want them to be a little more transparent on what their next gen system will be if they decide to go with maybe something like a Switch 3, I guess. I just don't want them to be so damn secretive on whatever the next console will be. So maybe that way it will dial back on all the crazy rumors and leaks a little with their next major generation console, but I'm getting way ahead of myself on that. I truly believe that if Nintendo can deliver on even half of these features, the next Switch will be an absolute powerhouse of a console, and I'm not even the only one who thinks so. Many gamers out there are clamoring for these exact same upgrades. I think it's clear that Nintendo has a lot of potential to make the next Switch an incredible system. Whether or not they'll actually deliver on these features remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, I'll be eagerly awaiting the announcement of the Switch 2. But what do you guys think? What are some of the features that you are most excited for, and what are some of the things you want to see in your wish list for the Switch 2? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, there you have it guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, be sure to smash that like button for your boy and subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this. Check out this video right here if you want to see what my launch lineup for the Switch 2 should be if you haven't already. Either way, I appreciate you guys all the same, and with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.